you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine.
And the executive consultant on YouTube. How interesting.
I know, right? Top five Ziggler matches.
We're live, apparently.
We are still on mute.
Wow. Hello there, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Unpopular Reviews, Top 5 edition. This time we're talking top 5 Dolph Ziggler matches in honor of Dolph Ziggler's departure from World Wrestling Entertainment a couple weeks ago. Let's see if he ends up in All Elite Wrestling. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about his top 5 WWE matches. And I wasn't even prepared. We just ended up live. That's amazing. So I want to bow out of being first in this top 5. We're going to start off with our number 5. And Vaughn, actually, no, we're going to go with Dahlia Dark, Wrestling Doll. You'll start off because ladies first. Your number 5, please.
All right. So 1,554 matches this man had in the 19-year tenure of being in the WWE, winning multiple championships, which props to him because he doesn't always get the push. But when he does, he does. So for number 5, I'm going to go with Survivor Series 2014 Team Authority versus Team Cena. It was a good match. I won't say it was the best match. It was good for entertainment purposes. It also had the debut of Sting, but it also had Dolph Ziggler being the sole survivor and the trooper and underdog of Team Cena, like being the last man left and fighting off 3 guys on his own, even while exhausted, falling to the ground, like selling amazingly, like nobody else can. He was the top dog in that match, so to speak, no pun intended. And literally won it for Team Cena and Team Authority. Adios.
Adios, King Vaughn. We're going to do you next.
All right. Sorry about that. So my turn. I would go with the same match as well. The 2014 Survivor Series where Dolph was the sole survivor of that match, and so it was definitely a great shine for him. You know what I mean? So like I said, I have no problems with that whatsoever.
I don't want to be the oddball out because I've said this. I feel like I said this on a few top 5s. I actually was not a fan of that match. I don't know why.
That's fair.
A lot of people love it, but I just don't. I never was a big fan of that match. But anyway, oh yeah, because the ending when Triple H came out and just like destroyed everybody for reasons that I still never understood. My number 5 is going to be one. Don't know. TLC 2012, where we have John Cena versus Dolph Ziggler. We got the right one? Is the right one?
Yes, for the Money in the Bank contract.
Correct.
Yes, I just watched that one today, so it was good. I will say
yeah, that's going to be my number 5. It's a sleeper match. People don't really talk about it that much, but I thought it was a very, very good match, which Ziggler won. And kind of deserved to win, in my opinion, with Vicky Guerrero in the corner. So Dolph Ziggler, John Cena from I can't remember what it was. I just remember it was in 2012. Oh, TLC, of course.
TLC, yeah.
2012. That's my number 5. Dahlia Dark, if you go with your number 4, please.
All right. So my number 4 match is going to be the Elimination Chamber 2020 SmackDown Tag Team Elimination match, which it was a pretty fun match to see. Miz and Morrison retained the belts that night. I won't say that was my favorite part of it, but they did something that hadn't been done in nearly a decade, as Michael Cole said, and that was when Dolph Ziggler made Tucker go through the pod, and he actually fell out from the ring onto the right nearby the Spanish commentators where they got counted out, and Heavy Machinery was no longer able to be in the match. But it was still a fun match. Some good spots, some good moments also between the Usos and the New Day when they worked together briefly to take down Miz and Morrison for a bit. But Dolph and Rude had a good showing in that match, and they definitely did something that was quite interesting.
Yeah, so my number 4 would have to be TLC 2012 versus Cena as well. You know what I mean? So like I said, it was definitely a great match, and for Ziggler to pick up the W over someone of Cena's status, you know, it was definitely monumental for him. So like I said, number 4, I go with TLC 2012.
I always remember King Von when I do these shows. We usually end up picking a lot of the same ones. That's one.
Yeah, I honestly, with this one, I'll be full disclosure. I don't want anybody to feel like I'm just winging it, but I kind of am, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Because it's like I said, Dolph Ziggler had a great career, but you know, like I said, I know, you know, because I know this is for Mike. He's a big fan, but like I said, I'm just here for support. I ain't really like, you know. I'm gonna be fully honest. Like I said, I wasn't really like, you know, catching Ziggler like that. If it was like John Cena, Randy Orton, no shade. I'm just saying, but you know, I'm just coming up with the best Ziggler matches I come up with. He had 19 years, so you know, like I said, I'm just being fully honest.
19 years, I don't know how many gimmicks, but he made it work.
Yeah, absolutely.
He was a workhorse, so to speak.
My number 4 is going to be from a SummerSlam of 2009, and that's going to be Rey Mysterio versus Dolph Ziggler. I think this was Dolph Ziggler's breakout match, in my opinion, where he really started to get some shine put on him. And I believe he won the Intercontinental title shortly after that, proving that he was doing a good job as Intercontinental champion his first time around too. Dolph Ziggler was that man back then. In full disclosure, along with King Von, I mean, I was a huge Dolph Ziggler fan, always have been, but Mike takes it to another level, so I'm glad he mentioned it, because I think Dolph is a solid hand. He's had some good matches, but I'll even point this out. Barbara's first 2 were tag team matches, multi-man matches. I was trying specifically to look for matches with just him in it that were super memorable. I've never seen him really have a bad match, but I didn't have that many memorable matches to him until we get to my top 3. I know it's kind of early.
Exactly.
I know it's got early, but before we get into 3, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review.
I'll tell you what. The person who I think is doing very well, even though he lost the championship, is actually one Austin Theory. I think Austin Theory has definitely stepped up his game. I think he actually is the reason why they got 153 million views and not The Rock.
No. How much coke have you been doing? What?
I don't drink
what?
soda. No. I don't drink soda. So here's the thing.
No, he's still drunk from last night because
not at all. Bullshit. I didn't even drink last night.
That's bullshit. That's that bullshit. Yeah, all right.
Playing the part of dice. Playing the part of dice. Look, Austin Theory is that man. You put The Rock and Stone Cold with that guy. Come on, they know there's something special in him. And you put The Rock in there with any other person in WWE today, it would not have created the magic that it did with Austin Theory, because Austin Theory knows how to put The Rock over, and that's what he did last night.
You're going to say that about Grayson Waller, too, right?
Grayson Waller is the future. Grayson Waller.
Jack, you all right? You dead? Jack just broke his neck.
Where's Jack at? Where's Jack at? Where's Jack at?
He's on the floor.
Oh my God! People's elbow. Is that what happened? He's about to get people's elbow.
Oh my God, guys! You're watching Unpopular Review.
You know what?
And we are back. Top 5 Dolph Ziggler matches. We did our number 5 and number 4. We're going right into number 3. That was the Raw and SmackDown show, which you can watch every single Saturday at 11 o'clock sharp with myself. I keep saying Big Dayco. He's not on every week. Bad Guy Jack, as well as the Mark Victor Rodriguez. Bedalia Dark, your number 3, please.
All right. So, yes, I brought up a lot of multi-man matches. I can't help it. Those were pretty good. I have one in my honorable mentions because, duh. So, this time I'm going to go with the singles match for my number 3, and that will be Randy Orton versus Dolph Ziggler at Night of Champions 2012. I found it to be pretty damn good. I mean, what can I say? You got Randy Orton in the ring. You can't go wrong with creating magic with Randy.
Not at all. So my number 3 would be the Rey Mysterio SummerSlam match that was mentioned earlier, and for the Intercontinental title. So most certainly, I think Zig was in his element when it came to that IC title mid card, scene. And I think that there's going to be a Randy Orton match somewhere in the future on my list. So I look forward to hearing what Chris has to say.
I will say that I don't have a Randy Orton match in there with Dolph Ziggler, but he could have easily been in there because he had some very, very good matches with Randy Orton. And my number 3 is somebody else who I believe he had a very, very good matches with, even though he didn't have that many at the time because it was in the latter part of his opponent's career. The recently debuted in AEW Dynamite, that would be the rated R superstar Edge at the Royal Rumble 2010. That is one of my favorite low-key matches, period. I love that match. I love the story of him not being able to use the spear, but still finding a way to cheat using the spear, along with Unprettier, Vicky Guerrero being involved, being attacked. I just loved everything about that match, the way that Dolph Ziggler sells the spear. It was just wonderful, that match. I can watch it anytime. Edge, Dolph Ziggler, Royal Rumble 2010. And now we're going back. Actually, no, 2011. I'm sorry. Royal Rumble 2011. Dahlia Dart, you're number 2.
All right. Well, I'm definitely going to add that one on my watch list. So thank you for that one. But number 2 was one that I found recently that I watched on my work break a couple days ago because I thought we were going to do this top 5 last week, but it didn't happen. But I did watch it still. And this match I found very entertaining, which would be Dolph Ziggler versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship at Stomping Grounds 2019. Watching heel Ziggler is absolutely fantastic. I like him as a face. I love him even more as a heel because that's sort of feel like he excels at the best, like The Miz, for example. And all I got to say is him attacking Kofi's, I think it was his leg or his arm. I can't remember because, like I said, it's been a week. But watching him attack that body part just to ensure that Kofi couldn't do anything that he normally could do. And that ending when he was about to escape out of the cage, but Kofi jumped over him was magic. That's all I could say. I had never seen that in a steel cage match ever.
Great choice. We're at number 2 now. Yes. So my number 2 would actually somebody said Heel Ziggler goated. If you don't mind. Cool. There you go. Exactly. Heel Ziggler goated. So that's the storyline where he said it should have been me. It should have been me. Yeah. So I would go with that title match as well, especially considering the parallels between Ziggler and Kofi. You know what I mean? So it's just like almost like a mirror image of each other, just about. But like I said, I'll go with that match, WWE title in 2019 between Dolph and Kofi as well.
I'll be surprised if my number 2 and number 1 aren't mentioned somewhere between the both of you all, if not both of you all. But this one is going to be mentioned probably in some people's number 1. It's going to be an Intercontinental Championship ladder match between him and the late great Luke Harper from 2016 or actually 2017, I believe it was. 2015. Great match here. These two put it on one of the, in my opinion, all-time great ladder matches for singles competitors that doesn't involve Edge and or Christian, or Jeff Hardy. So I have to give it up for this match. Luke Harper, Dolph Ziggler. That's my number 2. When we come back, we'll probably talk about some honorable mentions and our number 1 as we wrap it up. Stay with us. You're watching Unpopular Review.
Let me say some things. Dijak has dominated Eddie twice. Why is there a run back match? Why? Because Eddie lost? Because Dijak hit a tree? So Eddie want to get revenge for this tree? And then on top of that, he has his family out there. So he already started cheating by using his family to come out here. He's the dominating Dijak. And he's beating the hell out of Eddie. And then he's beating the hell out of Eddie in front of his niece. And then Vic, you fool. You sit here and then you say, oh, come on, not in front of her. That's too much. Booger had to sit here and say, he knew what he signed up for, which is true. You put your family in to get your ass kicked? That's not Dijak for you. We think Dijak's going to sit there and lay down for you? No! All I'm saying is this match made me upset. Dijak shouldn't have lost. Dijak should have dominated him for a third time, but then he probably would have got another match because Dijak would have probably stepped on the flower, and then he would have said, "Oh my God, you're ruining nature. I hate Captain Planet." Take the floor.
Well, that was quite the passionate rant about it, which is understandable. However, when you desecrate a sacred place that is important to someone and their culture, it amps them up and makes them attack and go crazy. So that is why we had this strap match.
That is the NXT episode immediately after NXT every single Tuesday with Wrestling Doll down there, as well as her partner, which is Bad Guy Jack. Talking about top 5 Dolph Ziggler matches. Everybody have any honorable mentions? Now's the time. Wrestling Doll, I think you mentioned you had one or two.
Yes, so my honorable mention will actually be WrestleMania Backlash 2021, Robert Roode and Dolph Ziggler versus Rey and Dominic Mysterio for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which made Dominic and Rey the first ever father-son duo to hold Tag Team Championship gold in WWE. It was a great match. I will never forget it. It's when I first started watching WWE, and I actually stuck around to watching the men's matches and not just fast forward to the women's matches. And I will say that quick little brief match that he had on Alberto Del Rio after he cashed in on him, having one of the best cash-ins ever with the biggest pop when he won ever. It's one of the top 5 cash-ins for most people, I would say. I'm not going to say for everybody because everybody's different, but for most people, it's definitely a top 5 cash-in. So those are my honorable mentions.
So for my honorable mentions, I will also go with the cash on Del Rio, and I would go with like when him and Roode beat the Street Profits for the SmackDown Tag Team titles, as well as this is SummerSlam 2012. We had a match with Jericho. So for me, those are my honorable mentions.
I actually don't have any honorable mentions, so let's hop right into number 1. The Wrestling Doll, your number 1, please.
Surprise.
Wow, that is very rare that the executive consultant doesn't have any honorable mentions. Usually when I say I'm doing that, I'm pulling an AC over here. But my number 1 pick, and it's probably going to be a lot of people's number 1 pick. If it's not, then y'all are out your damn mind. But No Mercy 2016 Intercontinental title versus career, Miz versus Dolph Ziggler is one of the best feuds I had seen. Like their personalities, and the way they can cut a promo, it's so similar. I feel like they could have made an interesting tag team if they were put together, but I think they were a pretty good feud. It gave us one of the most passionate promos that tugs at the heartstrings, where Dolph Ziggler famously says that he loves this business, but sometimes what you love doesn't love you back. But seeing the people behind Dolph going against the Miz, all the stuff that Maurice was doing to make sure that her husband kept the title and so Dolph could get kicked the hell out of the WWE, is one of my all-time favorite Dolph Ziggler matches that I will show to anybody if they ever want to see a good Dolph Ziggler match. And I will say this, if he does go to AEW, please do something besides put him with his brother, the Hollywood Hump, because his brother is not even getting put on TV anymore. The last time we ever saw him was on Dark, and that says a lot.
So my number 1 would have to be the World Heavyweight title match with Randy Orton, or at least WWE title match with Randy Orton from Night of Champions 2010. So if anything, that's my number 1 Dolph Ziggler match of all time on my list.
I can't believe it, but me and Vaughn are going to disagree. Even though great match, like I said, Dolph Ziggler don't have bad matches. I'm not going to pick that. I'm actually going to agree down there with Wrestling Doll for No Mercy 2016. The Miz defending his Intercontinental Championship against Dolph Ziggler. Now, granted, I thought the wrong person won that match. I know Dolph Ziggler's career was on the line, but Miz was in the middle of a very, very, very good Intercontinental Championship reign that should not have been interrupted at all, in my opinion. At all. He should have been the one that actually took that record from Honky Tonk Man, in my opinion, at that time. Absolutely. And that's not saying anything about Gunther's reign now, but Miz's Intercontinental reign from 2016 was fantastic. fantastic and wonderful. Should never have lost the championship to him or John Moxley at the time. But anyway, regardless to say, one of the good things about him losing the Intercontinental Championship to Dolph Ziggler is we had that fire match between The Miz and Dolph Ziggler in a match that should have been the main event of No Mercy, because No Mercy's WWE Championship match opened up the pay-per-view. And this match was a mid-card, and I forgot what was the main event of that show. But that should have been the main event of that match. I was always upset, always thought it was a wrong decision. Fun fact, Dolph Ziggler will later go on to actually main event a pay-per-view with the Intercontinental Championship about 2 years later with Seth Rollins in an Iron Man match, which I wanted to put a Seth Rollins match up there. So if we want to say an honorable mention, maybe his match at SummerSlam 2018 with Seth Rollins, which I thought was a very good match. But yeah, overall, that is my number one. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us immediately after this if you're an entertainment fan, where we review Wes Craven's A New Nightmare, starting off the month right for Halloween. And then later we're going to do Fun with Dick and Jade, as well as Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind. Join us on Saturday when we talk about Raw and SmackDown. Monday for the Mike Knox Show. Tuesday for NXT. Don't know what's going on with AEW right now. Don't know what's going on with AEW next week. And we'll have another top 5 for you. Also, don't forget Fastlane's this coming Saturday. We probably have a review show on Sunday. Look out for that one. Also, make sure that you listen to the Victorious Ones podcast over there, hosted by King Vaughn. And check out Wrestling Doll's unofficial camera woman, giving you all that camera action for these indie wrestling shows down here in the Sunshine State of Florida. So, Dahlia Dark, too many D's in your name. Pause. And Vaughn, y'all have anything left?
No, that's it. You know, I know. Please make sure to listen to my latest episode where I review NXT No Mercy, as well as give Shawn Michaels his flowers, as well as give my honest view on Edge's AEW Dynamite with the AEW debut. So those are the latest one of this week's episode of the podcast. Make sure to listen on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you download a podcast. You know?
And be on the lookout for whenever I post up anything on my YouTube channel. If you have any friends of yours that like watching indie wrestling and want to check out wrestling from other places that they haven't been to, or they haven't seen any from Central Florida, go ahead and tell them. We got lots of great people down here, some that have been on TV, some that have been on WWE, AEW. Let them know. Tell them to give a look. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'm going to be one of those corny YouTubers for a bit. I'll do that. But, hey, why not? And maybe you'll see this one pop up on there every now and then.
You might. Got a show on Saturday. I think Wrestling Doll's going to miss that. But thanks so much for watching us. We'll see you right here next time on Unpopular Review.